Welcome to our private island. There's the, let's see, the White Eagle, the sailboats right out there. Am I pointing at it? It's hard to tell in this little camera, but anyhow, I've been working over there underneath those mountains last few nights, working for a friend's company and loading a barge. And we brought the White Eagle, our sailboat, over and stayed a couple nights there and finished up loading the barge last night. Took a sleep on the boat, and it's a beautiful morning. Now it's afternoon. Kind of slept through the morning, and we're over here in this little group of islands, just checking it out, exploring. And I wanted to show you around. There's Audrey over there. She's getting to know the island pretty well, apparently. Here's our paddleboards sitting there. I found an otter skull on a little beach over there. It's a young otter. There was the whole vertebrae and everything, and there was also the skull I picked up. It's pretty cool. It's got its teeth on there. Looked like it died this winter. But it's a beautiful little island. It's the end of March. Sunny, calm day. Show you around. This island is fun. Called us over here because it's got one tree on it. Well, I guess there's actually a couple, but there's only one substantial tree in it. It's pretty cool. Just this tree has claimed this island, I guess. There we go. So we just paddleboard over here. We're just kind of hanging out, enjoying some nature. I gotta tell you, we've been living in the wilderness all winter by ourselves, and in the winter there's not many people around. We call it the wilderness, but it's actually not very far from town. But in the winter it feels pretty far from town because nobody comes around. And now it's summertime, and we just spent a couple days near the town of Soldovia, kind of road accessible, but anyhow, there's people around. And I gotta say, it feels like maybe I developed an allergy just having cars.
Not even summer yet.
Cars drive by, an airplane flew over, somebody's been running a chainsaw over there at their cabin, I guess. I don't know, but I sure enjoy the solitude and the silence of winter time around here. Look at this. I'm climbing up to check out the tree. Mossy little ground here. Looks like something became lunch. Bird feathers. The eagles like to come to places like this and eat what they got. I would guess that's the remains of a duck, probably. Well, here I am, king of the island. Oh, I just see harbor porpoises, harbor porpoises over there. There's actually a lot of them. I would show you, but this camera, you just see tiny specks in the distance. Quite a little pod of them. Is pod the right word? Anyhow, beautiful little island, and definitely the message for me today is spending more and more time out alone in the wilderness, remote living. I like it more and more, and just coming face to face with society and culture and people and stuff a little bit the last couple days made me realize how much I enjoy the total silence and isolation of living remote. And it's coming on summertime, and I gotta say, I'm not really sure what that's gonna be like. Just watching the boats drive by and hearing a plane overhead, I feel like we gotta go further away. Time to go farther. It's gonna be crowded. There's gonna be boats driving by, airplanes overhead, helicopters, and not really ready for it. Been really enjoying winter and silence and solitude. I'm not filled up yet. Or maybe I'm developing a condition. Not sure which it is. There's a chainsaw. I don't want to listen to some guy running his chainsaw. I'd rather listen to my own chainsaw. It's kind of funny. It feels very selfish. Basically, I want the world to myself, but I want people to make beautiful chainsaws and cameras for me, and I want to live with all of the luxuries available to me, but I want it all to myself. That's pretty much how it feels.
I get to share it with you, which is pretty nice. But this rock is all for me.
Hey, look, I found a mermaid.
Hey, washed up.
Washed up mermaid. It's really beautiful. See, I can zoom in and show you the boat. Not really, I can't zoom while I'm on here, but it's over there. I'll share this beautiful place with all you watching on the internet. Happy to do that. Come on over and enjoy the video and experience the beautiful nature. I'm not really against people, and I appreciate that there's people out here enjoying this beautiful place as they should, like we are, and I think that's great. But I would say it's just recognizing how much I like to be alone in the wilderness. Don't tell Audrey. She can't hear. But just not having the distractions really just comes down to the noise and the things and hearing someone else doing something or talking. This morning we woke up on the boat and I could hear people on the beach talking. And it's just kind of a strange feeling to be able to, I don't know, feel people's energy, hear what they're doing, have that kind of distraction or whatever. This is really pretty. Let's go ask Audrey what she thinks about it. She used to live in Anchorage, which is Alaska's biggest city. I grew up in Homer, which is a town of about 10,000 people, and I grew up out of town. And basically didn't really have neighbors, but we could hear a road where I grew up. And my family moved to town when I was like an early teen or whatever, 12 maybe actually. And I was devastated. I loved my wilderness childhood, and it was hard to imagine anything else, but let's hear what Audrey has to say about this on-the-spot video interview.
What's the question?
So, you spent your first kind of winter living in the wilderness,
yeah,
and basically alone for the most part.
Yeah.
How does it feel the last couple days to be around other people?
There's a lot going on today that's distracting from like the actual pristine nature, just as far as like boat wakes and external noises, the airplanes, and it does feel like summer, but it's not even April yet, so that's a little concerning for me. But again, I'm happy to see people getting out and enjoying it. However, like, I really like to be pretty remote. This isn't feeling super remote, but I still feel so lucky to be able to just be here hanging out on this rock. Like, not many people are doing this today. And
Slap it again. Go ahead, slap the rock again.
get her. This is a really nice rock. Should be nicer to it. But honestly, the silence It was really, really, really nice. And I'm super used to that. And although I lived in Anchorage for 20 years, it was only 3 years that I lived in the city. All other 17 years were up on the mountain where I couldn't hear any noise, like other than the owls hooting and, other animal sounds, really. No traffic, nothing like that. So the 3 years in the city was really challenging, which is how I ended up moving out of Anchorage and to Homer and then to the remote coastal wilderness. So it's my jam. That's not my jam. Do you hear that? That is a really loud chainsaw.
Okay, cut. It's been about half an hour. We've been hanging out on this little island. And I've been thinking about what I was talking about, living in the wilderness. So it's been coming up on a year since we moved out of town and started living remotely. And definitely, as I was saying, this last couple days have felt like an opportunity to sort of assess what that's been like, being around some vehicles and other boaters and stuff has reminded me of one of the major reasons why I wanted to move into the wilderness is that I was observing my consciousness or awareness was constantly being, I would say distracted, but it's not really the right word, but I would just be constantly noticing things about other people, a car driving by, someone closing their car door, an airplane flying overhead, the phone ringing, a dog barking, whatever, just anything, any sort of regular social thing. And it felt like it was disrupting my peace of mind. And I know this seems kind of crazy because what do I think I should live on the planet by myself? Well, no. And I think this is something that is, I wouldn't say unique to me, but I'm sure there's other people like me out there. But some people like to be in groups. Some people like to go to concerts and like to be in crowds. They think a crowded restaurant is fun. That's just not me. I don't think that other people are wrong and I'm right. It's just I was learning that for me, I like solitude. I like things to be quiet. I don't like to have my awareness go to other people. And not that I just dislike other people. I just enjoy my own experience of life more, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know what to say about it, but it was a very, very clear observation that I prefer to live in nature. And I was just sitting here in the sun on this island, and there's wave noise. It's pretty loud, and there's actually an oystercatcher screaming. Here, he's gonna fly by me right now, actually. I don't know if you can hear that. Wee, wee. And then there's the crows are cawing. There's a lot of sounds out here. Lots of them. Lots of what you maybe could call distractions. And then there's a guy over there at his cabin. It's Sunday afternoon. And he's chainsawing, probably cleaning up some winter deadfall or something. And so there's a chainsaw. And I had the opportunity just to recognize these oyster catchers and these crows are, you could call them loud and obnoxious. I find it sort of soothing and pleasant to listen to them. Some guy over there running a chainsaw, I don't enjoy it. I like to run a chainsaw. I'm not averse to noise, but this is this thing, and it sounds really entitled and weird, selfish, whatever, but I don't have the energy around it. It's just an observation of how I am and how my life experience is. I love to be in nature. I love the sounds, the sights, and the things of nature more than I like society and culture. And I'm just accepting that at this point. I'm in my 40s, and I've always been that way. It's just become really clear now with some observational awareness that that's how I am. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to share that that's my thoughts about living remotely. It's been a while now, and I would say that my sensitivities, which I don't really love that word, but that's honestly what it is. I'm sensitive to the sounds of society, and it's not my preference. I would much rather listen to an obnoxious oystercatcher and crow having a squabble than even like the neighbor's kids playing or whatever. You know, it's just kind of, that's my preference. I like to be in nature, and it's become very clear to me that I have a better peace of mind, and I enjoy my day-to-day experience a lot better surrounded by nature and its sounds and sights. So there you go. That's my review of almost a year living in the wilderness, and it's coming on summer, and we're gonna see how that goes, I guess. Maybe it's time to move a little bit further away. I'll show you around the island. The tide has come in substantially since we've been sitting here. It's actually pretty fascinating. There's our paddle boards. The rock we got off on was underwater, and you can see over there is the rock that I found the mermaid on, and she was getting nervous about falling in the water or being surrounded by water, so she had to go to higher ground. But this is how fast the tides are. These are pretty big tides right now, and I don't know, we've been here for maybe 30-40 minutes, and I was just walking, doing my little video, walking around down there in that water just a few minutes ago. And it really feels like just a few minutes. I sat down on the rock and watched that water come up. If you've never been around big tide changes, it is quite an experience. Everything is constantly changing, and you really can get caught pretty easy. Audrey just noticed her things. She had her stuff sitting right down there in the water. And just a minute ago, our paddle boards, if we didn't grab the rock that they're strapped to, they would have been inaccessible in just a few minutes. So you gotta stay on your toes when there's big tide changes. Okay, wherever you are, I hope you're having a nice Sunday. It's Sunday today. That's what they say. And we're gonna hang out here for a little bit longer and then maybe paddle back to the boat.